one of the quotes you said, "This is my secret. I don't mind what happens."
Yeah.
You adopting the idea of being comfortable saying, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Being totally committed and fully unattached.
Yeah.
How do you become fully unattached? How do you say, "I don't know"? And how are you always comfortable with what happens and not be a sociopath?
Right.
And I ask this because I sometimes have this problem, and which is why I think this guy Shane Dawson did a piece on my brother, and the word sociopath was thrown around so many times. And with people, sometimes I use logic to determine how I act or how I treat them or what I say to them, because to me, as a person who is kind of unattached, who's doesn't know a lot of things and who doesn't really mind what happens, like I want the best, but I always say this, yo, if you take this house away from me and you take all my money away from me, I will go back to Ohio and I will live in a tree and chop wood and I'll be just as happy as I am now. I've had this like level of happiness my whole life, and the through line is pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So how do you do all the things you said and still show that you care?
Yeah. I would actually say that's the greatest way to show that you care, because otherwise what you're saying is my value is externally associated. Why are people like wanting an outcome? Because it's the accolades, whatever that might be. It could be a check for something. It could be the recognition for something. So to me, the highest form of care is where you recognize your value for who you are. Like you're a unique aspect of life. There's no other you on the planet. And to me, that warrants honoring. That warrants reverence. Yet most people are under the impression that their value is somehow compromised. I'm not worth something. So I will compensate for that by trying to get something external. So if I'm okay with me, then I've got literally nothing to lose, talking about the boxer, right? Because I'm not looking for external trappings to try and compensate for internal lack of self-worth. Now, if you really get that, that to me is the most powerful human being, because nothing can be taken from them. And that's how I see every human being. Why? Because they're 1 in 8 billion. How much more special do you want to be? Yeah. But the trouble is, most people, because of the lens that they look through, which is they've been told that they're not this, or they didn't get picked for the football team, or they lost this, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's human nature. Again, why I have compassion and love for people. But it's not a truth to think that you're somehow inadequate. You're just not. That's a narrative. It's a conversation. So you believe that you're somehow inadequate, and then you're going to do whatever you think you need to through behavioral adaptation to compensate for that. And that's why you're not okay with outcomes, and that's why you're not okay not knowing, and that's why you're also like trying to attach yourself to some external value. None of it's wrong, but it's also futile, because what you keep doing is reinforcing the belief that there's something inadequate about you. That's going back to the one brain that's like coming up with this sense of insecurity that then's trying to find security, not realizing you made up the insecurity in the first place. So that to me is the ultimate form of care, because it is self-care. It is, if the degree to which I fully love and accept myself is the degree to which I can extend that to all other beings.